What's the point of four legs when all-wheel drive would seem so much easier? Evolution gave animals wings, sonar, armor, venom, electricity, jet propulsion, and the ability to regrow missing limbs. But apparently, after hundreds of millions of years, no animal ever looked at its feet and thought, these should be round. There are no horses with tires, no cheetahs wearing racing slicks, not even one snail quietly upgrading to all-wheel drive. So why have animals never evolved wheels? The obvious answer is that evolution is not an engineer. The more interesting answer is that wheels are only brilliant after somebody redesigns the planet for them. First, we need to define a real biological wheel. Plenty of animals roll, armadillos curl into balls, pangolins do something similar. Certain spiders escape danger by flipping sideways down sand dunes like eight-legged loose change, but the entire animal is rotating in those cases. A true wheel is different. One body part must rotate continuously around an axle while the rest of the animal stays facing forward, ideally pretending this was a normal decision. That creates the first problem. Living tissue hates unlimited rotation. A living structure needs oxygen and nutrients, and it needs some way to remove waste. A controlled structure may also need nerves. Run blood vessels and nerves from the body into a spinning wheel and they begin twisting around the axle. After a few rotations, the animal has invented wired earbuds after 10 minutes inside a pocket. Evolution could theoretically build the wheel from non-living material, like the keratin in claws or the material in a shell. That avoids twisting blood vessels inside the wheel, but it creates a completely new collection of problems. How does the animal grow the wheel, repair damage, replace worn edges, lubricate the bearing, keep dirt out, stop infection, and transfer muscular power across a freely rotating connection? At that point, the animal has not evolved a foot. It has opened a small automotive parts department. Still, the anatomy problem is not the entire answer. Biologist Michael LaBarbera argued that the limited usefulness of wheels in natural environments may matter even more than the difficulty of building them. In other words, nature may be capable of producing something wheel-like. Nature simply looked at the warranty and decided legs were less annoying. Wheels are extraordinarily efficient on hard, smooth, continuous surfaces. Unfortunately, most natural terrain looks like a road that was canceled halfway through construction. Forests contain roots, branches, rocks, mud, holes, slopes, and plants that have chosen violence. A small wheel drops into every gap. A larger wheel can cross larger obstacles, but it requires more material, more clearance, and a stronger support system. Even human vehicles need roads, suspension, tires, steering, and occasional assistance from a deeply disappointed tow truck driver. Legs already solve most of these problems. They can step over a log, place each foot on a separate rock, climb, crouch, jump, dig, swim, grab, kick, groom, and adjust to uneven ground one contact point at a time. A mountain goat can walk up a cliff that would make a shopping cart immediately return to the parking lot. A wheel is excellent at doing one repeated motion. A limb is a multi-purpose survival tool that occasionally becomes a weapon because nature enjoys adding bonus features. There is also an evolutionary problem. Natural selection cannot picture the finished animal, order 4 matching wheels, and wait for delivery. Every intermediate stage must work well enough to survive and reproduce. A slightly more flexible ankle may be useful, but it does not automatically lead toward a wheel. Continuous rolling needs a rotating element, an axle, a bearing, a way to create torque, a way to steer, and a body arranged so the wheel actually touches the ground. Until enough of those pieces cooperate, the animal may just have a strange circular lump where a perfectly respectable leg used to be. Evolution had no reason to keep funding that startup. Yet, nature repeatedly uses rolling when the environment makes it worthwhile. Dung beetles shape dung into balls and push them across the ground. The ball works like an external wheel with the useful advantage that the beetle does not need to supply it with blood or take it to a mechanic. Golden wheel spiders in the Namib Desert can curl their legs around their bodies and cartwheel down steep dunes to escape danger. Gravity supplies the power, while the spider keeps its ordinary legs for walking back uphill afterward, presumably while reconsidering the neighborhood. Armadillos and pangolins use curled bodies mainly for defense, not commuting. These animals demonstrate that rolling itself is not forbidden. It is just normally a temporary trick rather than an entire transportation system. Nature has even evolved actual gears. Young plant hoppers have interlocking teeth on their hind leg joints that synchronize the legs during a jump. The gears move through a limited arc, they do not spin continuously, and the insects lose them when they mature. Rotifers were once called wheel animalcules because beating cilia around their heads create the illusion of turning wheels. But those wheels are coordinated hairs, not rotating organs. Nature keeps approaching the concept, touching it briefly, and then backing away as if the wheel has asked to borrow money. And then comes the twist. Evolution did create genuine rotary motors. It just built them at a scale where rotation is actually useful. Many bacteria swim using flagella, long helical filaments powered by microscopic motors embedded in the cell envelope. These motors contain rotor and stator components and use the flow of charged particles, usually protons or sodium ions, to generate torque. The motor spins the filament like a propeller and can even switch rotational direction. That is not merely something vaguely shaped like a wheel. It is a functioning molecular motor with a drive shaft, bearings, and rotating parts, built by organisms that never attended engineering school and would be rejected from one for being several million times too small. At the microscopic scale, the system makes sense. The bacterium is moving through fluid, the motor is integrated across a membrane, and the rotating filament pushes against the surrounding water. It does not need to cross a forest floor or locate a biologically licensed tire shop. Rotation also exists inside larger organisms. A TP synthase, the molecular machine that helps cells produce their usable energy supply, operates through a rotary mechanism. Versions of it sit inside mitochondria, chloroplasts, and bacterial membranes. Proton flow drives part of the complex to rotate, helping manufacture ATP. So while your body has no wheels attached to its legs, it contains countless microscopic rotary machines working continuously to keep you alive. Evolution did not overlook rotation. It placed it in the basement and made it responsible for the power bill. Animals also show that evolution can produce wheel-adjacent machinery when there is an immediate benefit. Rolling bodies, external balls, ciliary illusions, interlocking gears, and microscopic propellers. What never appeared was the complete package required for a large animal to travel on permanently attached wheels. The anatomy is difficult. The developmental path is difficult. Natural terrain reduces the advantage. Legs already perform more jobs and work almost everywhere. And without roads, even a perfectly constructed biological wheel could become an expensive way to remain trapped in mud. So the real answer is not that an animal with wheels violates some absolute law of life. In a strange enough environment, an organism might evolve a detached, secreted, or symbiotic rotating structure that behaves like one. But on Earth, no known animal faced a situation where every step toward true wheeled locomotion was both achievable and more useful than the legs, fins, or flexible bodies it already had. Evolution gave animals flight, echolocation, electrical weapons, gears, and microscopic motors. It even invented rotation more than once. It just never paved the road. If you could give one animal working wheels, which species would you choose, and how long would it take before that animal became a public safety problem? Because a cheetah with tires feels less like biology and more like an insurance claim.